Yes, people, big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Not a good weekend for all of us, I'm guessing. The week didn't end well for us. I think that's a better way to put it. But we have to talk about it. Yeah, but try as much as you can not to get me to be the one to read out all your thoughts. You can say all your anger driven thoughts to the to the world. I'm not gonna do that if that's all you're here to do today. But that's why we're more importantly, I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. We will talk about the game. Um, then we will talk about whether low confidence is creeping in because that's where what I fear the most. Last, for instance, on the ground, but things were manageable until low confidence crept in. It became a serious issue. The players even the simplest of chances that your my grandma can put away, uh, they weren't able to put those chances away. I hope it doesn't get to that. But as much as I'd say, yeah, we're not there yet. But gradually, I think I can sense that yeah, low confidence is creeping in gradually, and that's a concern for me. But more importantly, I'm gonna get to say hello to those of you in the chat quickly. I forgot to share the link to the panelists, but I'll do that after I get what you have in the comments here. And please, once more, try as much as you can. Be objective with your contributions. I'm not gonna be here to read your name calling and all that. I'm gonna skip your comments. You are entitled to your respective opinions, but at the same time, you cannot get me to be the one reading your your comments if you're into name calling. So I just want to make it clear to you. I don't mind you being present saying it's the manager's fault or the player's fault, but no name calling. Otherwise, I'm going to skip your comment. And I think in about let's say 30 minutes into the show, I will share the link in the chat for those of you who deep down boiling inside and want to come on here and say it as you see it. You get the opportunity to do that, but you have to be on camera, and also no, you don't. You're not allowed to speak French if you know what I mean. See, Namaya Fawale, big up to you. More importantly, and again, something new to introduce here to make it easier on me is that once we're done with a particular topic, I'm going to skip to the very bottom. I don't want a situation where after talking about a particular topic, and I want to move on, we're on to another topic, and then I see somebody referencing what we already talked about and go back to it. That doesn't help. See, Poch should know, but everything now, it's free form because we're just starting. So see, Poch should never play Cowell again or Casado. Give Broya a chance. Allow Chalobah to play too. Chalobah isn't fit. Still no concern. Oh yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because I didn't come into this season expecting them to win the league or to be fighting on all cylinders after just 5 games. Yeah, that doesn't mean I like what's happening. Let's see. Big up to you too, Brianna Yahayu, aka 343 Dilemma, aka Vivella FC, aka Jackson FC, aka now Contender FC. I appreciate you finding the time to join, brother. I hope you're doing well. I think coach is someone who moved. Yep, I move on very quickly as soon as the game ended. So I would say he's probably not concerned. I'm not, and that's because more importantly, I came into the season prepared, knowing we made a lot of changes, so it's going to be a long season. But I'm still saying, confident to say that we still do better than a lot of people expect us to do. How well? How well? I don't know. But that's my opinion. Let's let's hear it from him. I like the construct of that particular comment there. Morning to you, to my assistant Santiago Muno. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining. Push back 30 minutes. Chat port. You know, it did, what port is the chat is usually an hour. If you push it an hour away, if you push it back by an hour, that's when it purges for everything you have in the chat. It's that time of the year. Teresi, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hi to you too, Mitchell. You know what to do. When I see it, I'll read it out to people. You're always welcome to share the link to your channel, the link to the shows you're going to host later in the day so people can go check it out. And Casado out now, coach. Everything Gallagher's fault, and you slug it out with anybody who says it's Gallagher's fault. I'm not gonna blame a single player. We have an issue. We have an entirely new team, and what we're seeing is something that's common with teams when you change a lot of players. So, But that's just my opinion anyway. Hi coach. I didn't watch the game last night. What was the score? Don't do this to me. And anyway, that's by the way, you can see it on the screen if you look. We lost 1-0 at home. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. For those of you that are watching, but for some reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. You watching alone does go a long way. Coach, have you heard of the new term coined? It's Pochettino. I didn't look at the Premier League table and I saw Aston Villa are sixth. How did you see their sixth if you didn't look at the table? You marvel me sometimes. Honestly. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see here. You Sia domain. Big up, coach. Big up to you to brother longest time. We can do well over the course of the season, but Poch it's making it clear and obvious, making clear and obvious mistakes and being dogmatic using Cowell on the left. It's just one thing. I think that doesn't help either. As much as I get it, he values Cowell's passing ability or defensive ability. I still think that doesn't help. It's counterproductive in my opinion. We need goals, and he's actually accommodating too many defenders to my liking. That doesn't help. And again, let's talk about the fullback position. Chilwell, as much as I don't think he's not my favorite player at Chelsea, I think he'd do better operating as a left back there and will contribute more offensively. But unfortunately, it's not my decision. And the manager seemed like yeah, he's bent on being dogmatic, or you can say maybe I'm not overly cautious in my opinion. As much as I hate to be speaking like that, I think that's just what it is. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Just 7 likes. We should be doing better than that. We're 8 minutes into the show. Good morning to you too, Christian Norton. I appreciate you finding the time to join. I hope you're doing well. Sabin Casado instead of Gallagher was a no-no for me. I'm not too sure, and I don't know if he's paying attention. He removed Enza too. What I would have done with again, I think we could have been better off Enzo dropping deeper and someone else playing in that 10 position. But I'm not the one that selects the players. So to me, I'm not sure whether he's paying attention that it hasn't worked. And so, if anything, he's looked lost in that particular position. Whether you call it 8, 10, whatever you want to call it, whether he has the you can say the freedom to be whatever he wherever he wants to be on the pitch, it still hasn't worked. That's a terrible result. Chelsea beat Aston Villa last season. Now they got defeated. What's going to happen next? I honestly do not know. Right now, we're here to have a conversation. So the question I want to ask you guys: do you sense that low confidence is creeping in? Or do you think confidence is the least of our problem? I'd say, yeah, confidence right now is an issue. It hasn't gotten to an extent where it would be so bad that even if we play a Division 10 team, we will not be able to score. But I can sense it. From what I'm seeing, I can sense, you can say, that low confidence is creeping in gradually, and that's a huge concern from me. But I want to hear from those of you in the chat. What do you think? Do you think that's happening? Do you think low confidence is creeping in? Or if you prefer talking about your observations from the game, you go ahead. Let's hear you. It'd be interesting to hear what you have to say. Just give me a second here. I'll get back to you in a bit. Um, let's see, 1 minute here. We'll be with you in a bit. Okay, let's do this. All right, people. Let's hear you. What are your observations from the game, and do you think uh, low confidence is creeping in? Which, has again, I've repeated myself all 2, 3, 4, 5 occasions. That's the yeah, my biggest concern. Hope Chelsea can do better against Brighton on Wednesday. In the League Cup tie. Yeah, we should, but right now I don't trust this team that much. As much as I still believe that will come good, but the possibility of that happening becomes will become will become slim if let's say if we continue to lose games. I don't know if we continue to lose games if we could lose games consistently, the players' confidence will take a hit, and that's really dangerous. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. I think we can start looking at the numbers as soon as possible. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, it wasn't. It was difficult to watch. And these days, when you watch Chelsea play, as the game progressed, and we don't get a goal, then you know it may well become one of those games where you hear you can say the opposition gets one chance and they put it away. And yeah, that was a shocking yesterday, really. So let's see. Let's look at the some of the statistics here. Let's see. Let's get down to it. Forget about the possession. It's nothing to me. For me, expected XG is pretty much even. 1.33 for Chelsea and 1.07 for Aston Villa. Total shots 10, and they actually had more shots than us. Big chances of three of us and one of theirs. But yeah, and they put away. This is it's concerning, really. Big chances missed. They missed one. We missed a three. Accurate passes. I forget that. That's nothing to me. Fouls committed. I don't look at those. Offsides. 10 offsides for us. Yeah, it doesn't. Looks like we're playing with primary kids. Honestly, they have just one offside. Corners. 11 of theirs to five of us. Honestly, you could argue actually it's a deserved win for them. Forget about the XG here and whatever it says. There again, it's a deserved win for them, honestly. And they could have scored more actually, because I remember yes, I wasn't sleeping. I'm quite sure. I can recall vividly what I witnessed during the game. If it wasn't again once more, Robert Sanchez's brilliance between the sticks, you can say it'd be 3-0 actually. Honestly, we were that poor. This is not one of those games that when you look at them, you say, yeah, we played well, but we were unlucky. I get it. Even I'm not too sure what to make of this game, honestly, because my mind is going everywhere. I can't quite figure out what really happened. Um, okay, at what point did Gusto receive the red card? Let's look at it again. Um, what point? What minutes? I'm trying to find it. Where can I find it here? Yep, 58 minutes. So yeah, I've seen people with a man down still win again with a convincing number. But it didn't look like we were going to be able to do anything. And the manager, the changes he made, uh, I couldn't believe it. He was bringing in a defensive player when we had attacking players on the bench. I wouldn't mind giving. I don't know. Just don't know what to make of it. It's everywhere really. But let's hear you. What are your observations from the game? And this is being honest. We played well. Just couldn't finish. Mudrik looked good. Mudrik looked excellent. He created some chances out of nowhere. Actually, good. Jackson outside too much. Coach, why are we seeing? We players in Porch isn't Enzo Chilwell Cowell. I'm not sure. That's jumbled up a bit. I think the team is dysfunctional. Oh yeah, that's the language I've been looking for. Dysfunctional, but you can add to. Not, I'm not going to. When I talk about, if I'm trying to, you say present an excuse as to why we're not doing that well, I'd say, yeah, we're not yet playing as a unit. Plus, yeah, you see disjointed displays here and there. That is very common when you have an entirely new team. But what we're seeing, what we witnessed yesterday, was beyond the team being an entirely new team. It's a serious issue, and my concern is that low confidence is trying to creep in gradually. It says Jackson refused to square to each other. Who Jackson and who? Starling and Jackson refusing to square to each other and shot straight at Martinez instead. Mudrik had little to no help on the left. Gallagher was missing. Oh yeah, except his defensive contributions. Other than that, I think I don't want to see him play in that midfield area, because if you're going to play there, you have to do more than just defend or be industrious. Coach, what do you think of Aston Villa's defeat Uh, I know I didn't watch that game. Please, let's keep the topics aligned. So I'm not gonna. You don't tire me out in time. Hello to you too. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Constantine Dante. Much love to you. Remember, in 1920, Arteta's Arsenal was at 16th place at one stage, but they finished eighth. That season, I am not saying Chelsea will reach eight yeah, okay. At the moment, maybe 10, 12. League is more competitive now. I think if we pick up a form and the manager start again, stop being overly, or you could say cautious, I think we'll go a long way. And I want to say something that somebody said here a few days ago. I don't remember who it was, but the fact is, if we go into games with the mindset that we have nothing to lose, honestly, we'll be doing a lot more better than we're doing right now. But unfortunately, I don't see that's the case. The manager is being way too cautious to my liking. But let's see. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. The owners are not going to fire him, so I'm not going to waste my energy trying to call for them to fire him. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the stream. If you haven't, go check out Mitchie Boy's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Believe me, you're not going to regret it. Yeah, let's come to you, Jerry Z. Your observations from the game. And another question I'd like you to answer is this, but more importantly, thank you for finding the time to join me on the panel this morning. The question I want to ask you is this: do you sense it that low confidence is creeping in gradually? And that's my biggest fear, because the moment it does, no matter how good of a squad we have, we'd struggle to still get results. So if you're there, Teresi, let's hear you.
Good morning, Coachella.
Big up to you too, brother. Good morning to you too.
Yeah, the confidence is very low, and it's like
Very low already for you.
it's yeah,
From
it's
your
low, and
observation.
that's what I was about to say that it's spreading all around to the fans, the analysts. So I was like, today I have to come, and it's so difficult to talk. Right, it's my second appearance, and already
Mhm.
things are not looking good. So yeah, confidence is definitely an issue, right? So,
I would say at
however,
this point, to me, it's not dangerous yet. But if it doesn't turn around at 6-7, you can say yeah, you can say 6-7-8 game. If it doesn't, if nothing changes, yeah, it will be dangerous. But go ahead.
yes. So yeah, I understand that football is ultimately judged by results, right? And from that perspective, things are not looking promising at all, right? However, it's
Hmm.
crucial, right? In my opinion, that we articulate our thoughts clearly. I think we are not clear in our thoughts. It's the fans are not clear. So many
Hmm.
fans believe, regardless of the results, our current competitiveness may take time to fully develop, right? Okay, but I think if you look at the game, if you just forget the time, sorry, the points table for a second, the performance was not bad. I know it might sound ridiculous. People would start turning against me, right? But
Oh
the
yeah,
thing
it
is,
does sound ridiculous, but go
what
ahead.
I'm trying to say, yeah, it does. But I'm an analyst. I have to see and call spade a spade, right? The
Hmm.
performance. I'm just talking about the performance of only yesterday's game. Let's not go back to the other five games. The performance was very. I won't say very good. It was decent. It's not the performance of 14th place team. It's not a performance who is telling people who are looking into the details that there is a huge concern. It's a fine line to turn this around, right? So,
Hmm.
so you said that Aston Villa were better. In my opinion, Chelsea were better yesterday. If we have to say who were better yesterday, right? We missed four chances,
All
two
right, you go
one v
ahead.
one chances, two 1v1. What would you say with two chances against 1v1 with Emi Martinez? There were two goals, right? There were two goals. See, I was looking at a post game analysis, and there was an interesting debate on some channel in Australia, and someone said if we swap Modric and Jackson uh, with Son and Madison from Tottenham, Chelsea could have won 4-1 yesterday, right? So the thing is, what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to portray that everything is going fine, but what I'm saying is that when we do the pre-match analysis before the game, all of us, right, the whole
Hmm.
community, there is
Hmm.
this feeling that it will take time, and then we lose. We
Yes, and
overreact.
if we're being truthful to ourselves, we should again. Anybody that thinks otherwise isn't being truthful to
That's
themselves.
what I'm trying
Honestly,
to say.
yeah.
That is my thing. That Let's be clear. Everyone, including some very harsh critics on other channels, right? They are all like, it will take time and we will not perform, we will not be able to win. And then we lose. It's like some, look, we lost 1-0. We didn't lose 3-0. What I'm trying to say is trying to make people think, to be a little bit rational. That's it, right? I'm not asking Chelsea fans to accept mediocrity. No, 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 no. Of course, the people who have lived through this generations under Roman in the last 2 decades, no way we should accept mediocrity, right? But we have to be realistic, right? As Roger said yesterday, I'm not being in his camp or trying to praise him, but whatever I was analyzing, after my analysis, I was going, but I did hear what he was saying. He agreed with me, but he pointed out that I didn't take into consideration that this is like a whole new squad, not even a team, right? And to his point, it will take a bit of time, right? So what I'm trying to say is that we should be clear. We should be, as a fan base, where
We
we
should
are and
realize
what
where
we
we are
expect.
right now.
And I see that there is a huge like flip-flopping, right? We are not clear. 2 weeks one thing, another week one thing. We should be very clear, and then we judge the team and the coach based on that, right? So yesterday, what I'm trying to say is that the performance was pretty decent. Both of the halves, when we started, it was really great. There is, to your initial question, the whole point is about low confidence, right? It's about low confidence,
Yeah,
and the
it's
only
creeping in
metric
gradually.
is,
Even they're missing the easiest of chances.
you said that Aston Villa could have won 3-0. Fine, I agree with that. The saves that Sanchez had to make, we could have won 4-1 also. I'm not like trying to criticize you
No,
or
no, go
anything.
ahead. Go ahead. Go
What
ahead.
I'm trying to say, why are you not considering, or why the fans are so demotivated that they are not taking into account Sterling and Nicholas Jackson miss? 9 out of 10 occasions, they were goals, right? Who can deny that? It's not on Poch, right? We should have scored those 2 goals in the first half. I think we should all agree with that, right? So before the game, I was talking about some luck. It's the other way around. We got the red card, which is a question mark. We are not scoring goal. Emi Martinez scored, saved two or three 1v1s, right? So the thing
One
is,
thing, one you could say down, also down to poor finishing too.
of course, when Sterling had the chance, he was running. He ran straight into Martinez. I was like, what is he doing, man? What is he doing? Why is he not taking his chance? So, yeah. Having said that, there are definitely a lot of issues. But if you see the overall game, as an analyst, if you analyze the game, the defense, the midfield, things are not bad. Yes, if we just take out the points table for a second, we are trying to, we are seeing a structure, we are seeing a pattern. At least I am, to be very honest. The big problem is not scoring the goal. It's not even about creating the chances. Yes, we should create more chances, but most of the people here on other communities, they are saying we are not creating chances, that's why we are losing goal. Absolutely rubbish. Sorry, I mean, to use even that word, but that was not so bad, I would say. The thing is that we are creating enough chances to even score a goal. How can you say that in the last 3 games we created what, 40 odd chances? We didn't score a single goal. So even let's say we could have created 5 or 10 more chances. The thing is, we are not scoring goals, and this is a huge problem. Remember, before the game, I said, where will the goal come from? This is my concern, and yeah. So that is the whole thing, that we need to score goal, no matter how good we play, how good we can do. If we are not scoring goal, we'll not win, right? And we'll keep on losing, dropping points. So this is a huge concern, and I'm really worried. And as you said, that Poch won't be sacked, but I hope so. He won't be sacked, but there's a huge Poch out trend,
No,
from
that doesn't make any. It doesn't
no,
move a
no, no,
needle.
no. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
not now, but I'm saying if the results would be like this, things could change, right? Things could change soon. Not now, maybe in November, December, right? So Poch needs to turn this around. No matter what, he
He
needs
needs,
to
he
turn
needs,
this
he
around.
needs to talk. He needs to find a way. I get it. Even if people, I get the argument will always come up that execution is the name of the game. You
He needs
understand?
to turn this around. And again, like I think all of us, or most of us, were really blinded. We were really excited with Caicedo. It's a great signing. I'm not saying, I'm calling all the names, Lavia, Jackson, XYZ, but we were talking on and off, right? That there is no experience. And now not me, most of the people yesterday, post comments, post analysis on the media channels or some top pundits, most of the observation now was that the recruitment is not good, it's not clever. Okay, this is a long term good recruitment with great potential, amazing players that can deliver maybe after a year or two, and we can have consistency. But we could have easily added one or two more experienced player, or let's because experience, you say, is a gray area, right? Because you say we have experience, let's put it this way, more developed, more proven player. When you have spent 1 billion, you can have easily put one or two, maybe a playmaker or striker, right? So let's see what happens. And of course we'll discuss the Brighton game in depth later, but this is one game, again, I'll be hopeful because we'll be facing a team which will be open, right? So again, we have to see how we perform there. There's no excuse. It's a low block and stuff like that. So I'm concerned. I'm not worried. Generally speaking, if Poch is given 1 year, I'll still believe he'll finish very high in the table. But the whole concern is when after the game, I really turned the voice as high as possible to hear the reaction, and the boos were scaring, to be very honest. I was scared to hear. It was loud. The Chelsea fans reaction was very, very loud, and it could
Well,
get worse.
that's part of the job. I'm quite sure he'd be able to deal with the booze. Let me give those in the chat the microphone, and then I'll come back to you. I think I really want us to look at Enzo's number, because before that game started, I did mention how I don't want him to play in that 10 role. I get it. The argument is that he has the freedom to be whatever he want to be, but that's the starting point, which means he will not see the pitch as he usually prefers to see it, and will not be as effective as he's always been for us. I think he looked lost. I don't care what anybody explains. Enzo needs to start in a deeper position to be as effective as he can be. But that's just me. I cannot stay on side. Yeah, Sterling, even at one point, he looked like he was just walking around on the pitch, in my opinion. And like I said, Sterling, he was shocking. I have to say the truth. And you take off Jackson for Broya, no depth. No, that's not the ownership anymore. That's the manager. I would have kept Jackson on the pitch and then remove one defensive player and Broya, so have more attacking threat. But we move on from that. Wolves is playing brilliant football, but they are at 16th place. If it wasn't Martinez, Chelsea would have scored 2 goals. Chelsea are improving. Yeah, I get it. We're improving, but put away the chances. It's the game. It's a result-driven game. It doesn't matter how well you play. You've seen. Let's take it back a bit. Let's talk about Norwich City under. Was it Chris Newton or who? They were so brilliant. They were so good to watch. There are other teams that you could mention. Even they were so good to watch, but they got relegated. That's it. So sometimes I don't know. I think he's trying to be pragmatic at the same time. Maybe I'm not quite sure what's missing here, in my opinion. But I'll just stick with one. The easiest of all is just lack of execution. We're just not putting chances away. That's the easiest. But beyond that, there are other issues, and the other issues I don't want to waste my time talking about them because I expected that. I expected the disjointed displays here and there, the lack of proper chemistry between the players because we have an entirely new team, in my opinion. So I'm not going to complain too much on that side, but I really. We'll get back to that. Let me just keep those in the chat, the microphone. We'll get back to that. And I have Jerry on the panel here to help me dissect and analyze that aspect of the whole thing. Let's see. Good news is that in another 7 games, Sterling will score a hat trick and Poch will pick him again and again. His thing, I think, my problem is that, well, actually, I think even the game before this one, he wasn't that effective, honestly, and we knew he was going to start. And somebody in the chat says, say experience my behind, and I'm with that person, honestly. I think I think he needs to. The manager needs to find a way to show him that he can actually drop him to the bench. Maybe he should try it again. He's never been consistent enough to my liking. That's just me. Let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Sterling hold the ball too long and cannot even dribble. That's a problem. Too long. Always wanted to bring the ball to the net and keep crashing with the goalkeeper. Wow. I knew it would take time. And that's why I'm not too concerned. But the manager himself need to he's making some questionable decisions here and there. I am resetting. Okay, you're resetting for another 3 months. Okay, let's see. Sterling is a selfish individual player. His final third decision making in passing is a shocking. And I know where we are right now. We are heading into relegation battle. Okay, if that's how you feel. If you watch, a Sterling always has his head down. At this level, it's a crazy. Wow, I knew people aren't going to be happy with him, and he deserved that. He was awful. He was shocking, really. I knew it would take time, so I will give it time. Yeah, I knew before time, and that's why I would say I'm not too concerned. My priority right now is just to look at the situation and say, what's the problem here? And to me, right now, more importantly, the simplest of all, the whole thing to figure out is that we're poor in the final third. Even from the passes and everything, or overall the decision making there has been awful. I get that this guy is saying, but we are in the Premier League. It's not forgiven if we continue like this. Yeah, we'll find ourselves in a relegation battle. Okay, just having a conversation there. I'm gonna go to Rodrigo, and after that, I think I'll scroll to the very bottom. Since if we switch a topic. So Rodrigo, big up and thank you for finding the time to join us today. I know you've been busy.
Yeah, big up, coach.
So every time I have you on.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry?
No. Sorry, I'll cut you. Yeah.
Okay, no problem, bro. Welcome. Let's hear your observations from the game. And do you think that low confidence is gradually creeping in? Because that would be the most difficult problem to solve. I think we had that on the ground, Potter. Even when the team, even when we were playing well, especially the moment we concede, it's over. And even when we get chances, you see the players, they don't have a pint of confidence. But let's hear you, Rodrigo.
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, sorry, I won't be long either today.
No problem. Let's hear you. That's why I was quick to come to you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Anyways, with regard to the game yesterday, again, in the state that we are, I thought we played really well yesterday. Obviously it's not a stellar performance, but if you consider the circumstance that we're in, the game yesterday was really good. It was an improvement from Bournemouth. And one thing, like for me right now, I'm fully 100% back in the manager. I think the biggest mistake that Chelsea would do now is sacking Poch. I think if we fire Poch now, like I'm hearing a lot of fans are calling for his head, that for me, that move will probably even be worse than anything, because then these players, first of all, they're so young, they need stability around the club. More than anything, they need to have stability. They need to have someone they can believe in, they can trust. They can trust. I hate the word prosper. They can trust that there is a structure. Even if things go wrong, the owners are not gonna quickly jump and pull the trigger. So that's the first. The owners need to show patience. They're the ones that brought this process. They're the ones that went and bought a bunch of young players, and there are consequences of that. So they need to sit tight and wait till January to get 1 or 2 reinforcement in the squad, because obviously the squad definitely needs it. In terms of the game again yesterday, when I watch it, I watched the game again today in the morning just to see. I thought we play a 6.5. You know those type of games where you go with the motion, because we're not as confident, right? Like you said, we haven't lost entirely, but I hope we don't lose it. I hope
it's creeping in.
It's creeping in, 100%. It's creeping in, but what I still see those things, like we still creating chances. So we still get the ball in areas where if we have a bit more composure, a bit more intelligence in the final third, we can convert some of these chances. I think a team like Chelsea now is what I'll ask from Poch going into the Fulham game is start the game as quick as you can, because I think like if we score first, I think that will
it
help.
It changes a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to start games with a lot more intensity. Like you need to be from the get-go, first 20 minutes, try to blitz teams, because as the game goes on, confidence is not as high, and then you can see there's always a chance, we might make a mistake, we might concede, might get punished from it. And then, because you've got a lot of young players, they feel like they have the burden of, obviously they do have, because they have that's what we have in a squad, of carrying the team and going through this bad moment. So they need to start games with a lot more intensity. I would hope that you know how we started the second half yesterday. If we started the game with that same intensity, you know, from before we got the red card, I thought we were playing really well. It was just a matter.
Before the red card, we played well.
Yeah.
But you can sense that you can sense that these are kids. I think the red card affected them in so many ways.
So So this is why I'm calling for. I'm the one last year I was calling for Potter's head from November, but now I think when you look at the state of this squad, where we are, the inexperience, the manager that we have now. I mean, I didn't want Poch. I wanted a different manager, but the owners went through this process and they came up with Poch. And at this stage, we've really reached a crossroad. We sack Poch. We leave.
It's back to the drawing board, right?
Drawing board, and some of these players will start questioning the future Chelsea. Some of the players that we want to keep. It's not just the ones that if they go, they go. But some of the players that we want to keep will start questioning. They will start questioning, and then once you get that, that's it.
Which means you're gonna need another clear out.
Another clear out, another headache, and again, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get another squad of 20 players, another manager has to go through. Right now, we just have to stick it through with Poch. I know it's hard. We 14th in the table, 4 point clear of relegation, but we don't have a choice. We literally don't have a choice at this stage.
But overall, you're saying we just have to weather it. It will pass.
Yeah, 100%. It will pass. Listen, we might even go into Fulham and draw, or even lose. I will still maintain the same stance. We have to maintain this manager. We have to see it through.
We have to.
It's nothing to do with I think Poch is world class or is elite. No. It's to do with the whole situation around the club. We cannot afford to sack another manager. Like especially now, it's crazy.
It would be a huge risk. I think you make a brilliant point. It is what we just have to start seeing things the way they are and not expect too much of this team. And I've told people 1,000 times, if you came into this season expecting us to be at Man City's level, Liverpool's level, or even Newcastle's level, you're not doing yourself a favor. You're going to get hurt badly. Just bear it at the back of your mind. We're playing with an entirely new team. Issues will emerge, and then the manager will find a way to solve them. And if anybody is capable of getting the best out of these young players, it is this man. Has he been perfect? I would say no. And Rodrigo, if you have or still have a minute or two, or if you still have time, do you blame him for any of the things we've witnessed?
Here's where I blame him. I blame him first of all. I blame him for the personnel. I don't have an issue with the structure that is employed. I don't have an issue with that at all. I have an issue with the personnel. First, Enzo Fernandez cannot play as a number 10. Yes, the experience, he tried it. He's not working. He has to put
Are you just agreeing with me?
Yes, 100% I agree with you. 1,000,000%. Yeah. I'm a new man. I no longer drive a panic bus.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing you no longer drive a panic bus, but go ahead.
I'm fighting all the panic drivers now. I'm fighting them. I'm no longer in that union. I'm fighting them in the trade union. So but another thing is, I understand the logic of playing Colwill as a left back, as a left back attacking, but right now what he's asking for his left back is not what Colwill can provide. He can't overlap. He can't join and connect with the winger or the left-sided midfielder. So it has to change. He has to find a way to play someone else as a left back. Because Colwill, what we're losing now for having Colwill as a left back is his passing in a build-up phase when he's in the center of the pitch. So you need to change that. So there are two things. I used to fight him on Chilwell as a left winger, and I feel like for the past 2 games he's learned his lesson and he's gone for Modric, who's actually
he's been more effective.
Yeah, it was his best game in Chelsea against Villa. Best game. And so now the next 2 issues I'm fighting him on is Enzo should be playing in the pivot. And
Yeah,
get
he has no business being. Yes, then
no
let me do a tapping on you a bit. The more Enzo sees the pitch, the more effective he'd be. Which means he'd play, just play him, let him start from a deeper position, and then be wherever he want to be on the pitch, because he looked lost. But go ahead.
It looks lost, especially when we come to that first phase of when the ball is with the centre backs. I can see Thiago is trying to. He's like struggling to find someone to show for the ball. Like,
And
guys,
nobody.
there's no one, because Gallagher doesn't have the instinct. It's not a pivot player. So if and another thing I don't get, because yesterday it was the first time our pressing from the front looked quite decent, right? So if you want to press in a 4-4-2, right, you have Jackson and the 10, yeah, making a 4-4-2. I'd rather have Gallagher pressing, running, chasing the centre backs rather than Enzo, because not effective in that sort of pressing from the front.
Wow, checks in the mail for you, because you've joined my camp. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you need to look outside. Maybe pigs are flying. Oh my lord! You would have expected me to come and say "Poch out."
Oh yeah, I was expecting. I was trying to find where you packed the boss. The boss. So
I'm fighting. I'm fighting all the panic drivers. I'm fighting.
I can't make a phone.
No, sorry. That was Siri just maybe thought I called on on her. But here's the thing, Rodrigo. I think you're spot on. I know a lot of people would disagree. We're not, even if you don't like the manager, even if you feel like he's making some questionable decisions, if you let him go now, we're hitting the reset button. And believe me, even Pep will not make a difference with this particular team. It will still take him time, and Pep will not even take the job, because Pep is not into projects.
Exactly.
He's not into that.
And coach, one more thing: if you hear how players talk about the manager, so they are building a bond with the manager. So for you to just cut it like that, do you know when the fight took off and then they got Graham Potter in? That was the beginning of losing some players. Some players already like, nah, this project is not the one. So if you do that now, you're gonna lose other players. It's just gonna be a mess. I think to preserve where we are, the season is not over yet. I'm not gonna put a number where we're gonna finish, but things will improve. Things have to improve.
Things will improve, definitely. And honestly, I said it. Here's the thing: it's usually difficult to argue that we're improving when we don't win. But the truth remains. I'm seeing progress, and I'm saying the reason why I'm not too concerned. I've said it 1,000 times. I did not come into this season expecting us to measure Man City. Even if we signed João Felix and we signed Lewandowski and Ronaldo, what we're witnessing now will still be happening, because you have an entirely new team. Practically preseason for a lot of them. And remember, Casado did what he didn't. Again, he didn't go to preseason with us. A few of them didn't. So to me, I'm not too concerned. And you're correct. If we fire the manager now, it will get worse. And that shows me that you actually pay attention. And the fact that you mentioned that one of the reasons why we lost some of the players we had was the way Tuchel was let go. The players didn't like that. They had a bond with him, and the moment they let him go, they'll start questioning the project, and all of them wanted to leave. So if they do that, a lot of these young players would want to leave too. Even some of those, like you mentioned, some of the players we want to keep long term will start saying they want to leave, and we can't force them to stay, even though they are on each on 10,000 years length contract. It doesn't matter. I'm sure they all have exit strategies, and if a player says they want to leave, you have to let them go. So let me give those in the chat the microphone. I'll come back and bring on Bobby to hear him. Rodrigo, thank you so much. In case you left before I get you, if you leave before I get to you again, that's fine. I appreciate you finding the time to join, brother. Let's see, Bruno Salto. Yeah, I've read. I'm looking at something that says he left. He secretly left Chelsea less than 4 months after being confirmed as part of Mauricio Pochettino's staff. Details of departure not confirmed. I don't know. Elaborate if you've heard anything. If you're there, Contender FC. I want to know if you've heard anything, the reasons why you think they let him go or he left. It's unfortunate with the injuries, but we should at least be grinding low scoring wins. Next match we expect Casado at right back. Oh, I think that may well happen because he's played there before, and I think he would do well there. Washington played amazing against Man City under 21, scored, assisted, and he puts on a Broya who hasn't played a game in 8 months. That's a good question right there. How about rewarding performance? How about rewarding Washington for that performance with the under 21s? I don't know. It doesn't look like something else I experienced on the ground other than I didn't like. Not rewarding players, a player again when they perform well, not rewarding them with the game time. I think maybe I'm not sure what to make of that. I don't want to get confused right now. Let's see. I wouldn't blame Poch for playing Sterling if Nani cannot stay fit. That's another argument. But I think we had other players that could come in and do a good enough job in that particular position. I don't know why we're criticizing Sterling too much. Madrike, okay, and other guys, I'm not sure. That's a bit jumbled up there. To me, the new formation for us would be 4-4-2, midfield Enzo and Casado, and Broya and Jackson up front. Jackson dropping into the midfield because he's a better carrier of the ball. Okay, let's move on from that. And let me just go to Bobby. I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat if I can. Bobby, big up to you. I appreciate you finding the time to join. I hope you're recovering well. Let's hear you. Here's the question I have for you. And do you see that? Do you sense it that low confidence is creeping in? Because the sort of chances we missed yesterday, to me, that's a sign that low confidence is creeping in. It's not dangerous yet. I think we have a one game or two against Fulham. Maybe we can grind out a result, and that will do the squad a world of good. Do you? And after that, I want to hear your overall observation from the game.
Yeah, big up, guys. Big up
to you too, brother.
Coach, if I suddenly have to drop off, I am
for your treatment.
I'm in the middle of it. So I just thought I'll jump on because even if I wasn't and I was fully fit, I would do exactly the same thing I'm doing now. And that's totally and completely ignore all, especially Chelsea platforms. And because I'm hearing so much childishness and absolute nonsense, it's not even worth the listening. However, I know that here there will be perspective, as it is Chelsea perspective. I just heard the tail end of what IBZ was saying.
Rodrigo,
which sounds very sensible. Look, all these guys are in a pre-season. Many of them have not had a pre-season. Everything is new. We've had a litany of injuries just coming back. We had a week to just bring back injured players. We have a striker that hasn't played for 9-10 months. We have key players who are goal scorers as well, currently still out injured. We have a new manager with all these new players and young players. We have a new team all learning to play each other. Now, as somebody rightly pointed out, with the suspension of Gusto, I fully expect that the best person for right back will be Caicedo. Now, he has played right back, albeit for Brighton. He hasn't played it for Chelsea or with any of these players. So that's another new. The goalkeeper is new. Both goalkeepers are new. Everything is new. They're still rehearsing. This team is not ready. It's still in pre-season. So what do you expect? Nothing surprises me. It's even a surprise that they haven't been caned by some of these teams and that they've performed so well on the pitch. I haven't even bothered to watch this game to date, but, from all the narratives I'm hearing, they played well. It's just they couldn't score. Now, goal scoring is an issue that the players have to really put right. We need a goal scorer, but the rest of the players should be chipping in. This is a problem, yes, and it's something they can work on. It's not as if the chances aren't being created. And yes, I understand there was a decision-making issue for Sterling when he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, I believe, which is unforgivable, to be honest. But I am not one that bothered, and I am not surprised. And all these almost children can do out of their hurt, attack the manager, attack the team, attack the players, attack the owners, attack. Everybody wants to spit their dummy out and throw their toys out of the pram, try and speak out hurtful, derogatory, damaging things, rather than just sit back and relax. This is a time to relax. Take it in, take perspective. It was always going to be like this at one stage or the other. What, did you expect this team as it is to start ripping up trees at the beginning of the season? Then you don't understand anything. They're human beings. They're human beings practicing to become a function. We haven't even seen Romeo Lavia or Christopher Nkunku on the pitch. They haven't kicked a ball in anger for Chelsea in the Premier League. So there's so many awaitings. You know, somebody talked about Bruno Salter, the coach leaving. Well, quite clearly, he was a transition between whatever it was Potter did and into Pochettino. When all parties felt that the transition was complete, it was time to move on so Poch can continue with his own coaching team. I don't know what the problem is. You know, people trying to make big issues out of non-issues. Oh, Egbali has gone into the training into the dressing room. I'm not bothered by that. Roman Abramovich was often going into the dressing room. He went in. Who knows what he went in to do? He could have gone in to encourage the players. I doubt very much if he went in to do what was rumored happened last season, whereas I think it probably deserved to happen because a lot of the players weren't playing for the badge. They didn't want to be there, and they were lackluster. This is not the case with these youngsters. They're trying their best. They just need time. And they need confidence. Of course, goals give confidence. So, and most of them are learning the Premier League. People like Nicholas Jackson, you know, he's learning the pace, learning everything, learning the anti-Chelsea bias of the officials. It's all a learning process. He himself is how old? 22? I mean, I don't get the attack. I want to be part of constructive, objective criticism and discussion. All this sort of negative, attacking, almost abusive narrative of the club, for me, it's not acceptable. So
It doesn't help,
it
especially
doesn't.
when it will not change anything.
It doesn't, coach. And you know the worst thing? People think that these young guys are not listening or they don't have connections. Anybody can click onto YouTube. They mocked me the other day when I said, "Look, you be careful. You don't know who's listening to you." And believe me, I was saying it with absolute confidence and practical assurance that I was in a place where people at the club were listening to my conversation with you guys. You don't know this, but I didn't want to get into that. I hate all this like name dropping thing here and there. Sometimes one Saturday I was at the training ground with the under nines and I switched on to you. People click onto these things left, right, and center everywhere. Players sometimes might do it. I'm not saying they do it, but who knows? Sometimes I walk into strange Twitter things. Sometimes I walk into YouTube things, and out of curiosity, I watch and listen. So it's a public space. And if it's a public space, it will be picked up by the public. And these people are the public. And these are kids who are more social media interactive than those of us more mature fans. So I'm just saying, please support the club. Stop attacking the club. I know it's hurtful. I know it's scary. I know it doesn't look good. Everybody knows this. But as you've said, Coach, what is the use in all these negative, derogatory statements and, oh, he's no good, oh, the club's no good, oh, get rid of the manager, oh, Bowley's at fault. Oh, everybody is trying at the moment. They've sunk in, they've really put their money where their mouth is. They had to go for a project and they chose a youth project. Why? To stay within FFP. Why? For the financial longevity and the successful longevity of the club. We got to give this a chance to happen. All this talk of, oh, they got to sack Pochettino, oh, bring in Mourinho, I was hearing. I mean, it's pointless. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we're now in a position we have to go the distance. So I just pray, please, God, the next game, let's manage to do something and win. If we don't, it's painful. It hurts me. I hate losing. It hurts me just as much as anybody else. But you know what? It's not worth attacking the team because right now, it's not really anybody's fault. They're trying. And I really believe they're going to get this right.
Yeah, I think they just need time. And if you, I'm going to say this again: if you came into the season expecting us to be at Man City's level, you're doing yourself a disservice. And Rodrigo, quickly, since you're still there, let me bring in you for one more thing. The question we have on the screen there, and this is the first time ever I'm seeing you and Bobby agreeing. That's shocking. Maybe I'm in Jupiter now, not on Earth. But that's, by the way, Rodrigo, here's the question on the screen. It says, do you guys think Poch is a coach who wants to develop young players? Let's hear you, Rodrigo.
Yeah, well, listen, I can come as my opinion, but listen, there's track record. This is why I'm so confident with Poch, because it's not just a blind faith. We've seen him do this. He's done it with Southampton. He's done it with Spurs. It's literally you can literally go in the past and see his track record. He's done it. So we just need to when people say give him time, we're not just saying it as of like, oh, just give him. No. He's backed by facts. Yes, he's done this in the past. You can go back and message.
Rodrigo, do you know the difference between this and Potter is that you can actually see what he's trying to do. You can see what's happening. That's why the team is playing well, because they have something they're working on. It's just their finishing is off. And, you know, an opposition can score against you at any time, really. The defense will make mistakes, especially if all the pressure is on them to be spotless. But if you score now and then, you take the pressure off everybody.
Exactly.
So, you know, I believe it's going to work. I really do. It's just they're at the teething stage of this whole development.
Exactly. And
Rodrigo, let's have you drop so that, because you said you're not sure how long you're going to stay. Yeah.
And then I'll drop. Is to do with the atmosphere in the stadium. Obviously, I'm now one to tell people that pay the hard-earned money how they should support the team. But I would hope that these people that go to stadium, like, listen, you need to make Stamford Bridge more welcoming to our own players. Make the atmosphere, because Stamford Bridge is a small pitch. If your toxicity will go to the pitch and affect the players as well. I always believe in, if whatever energy you put out there is the energy that you're gonna receive. So if you just get behind the players, make the ground unbearable for the opposition, not for our own players. Because I almost feel like now players are not even looking forward to play at home or to play at all for Chelsea, because it's almost like it's like a vicious circle. We throw toxicity at them, they can't perform on the pitch. Coach, have you ever done a job, where you feel like your manager, your colleagues are all like ganging on you? Like you in an environment where you're not feeling you can't develop or feel yourself. I've worked in places like that. You just you can't perform. You really
cannot.
Can't.
No matter how hard you try.
No matter how hard you try, because you feel like you're second guessing yourself. You don't know what you're gonna do next. So I really hope. Obviously, I can't tell fans how they should act in the stadium. I mean, they paid $1,000 in season ticket, but I hope some of them.
You can, Rodrigo. You're a fan yourself, and you're
Yeah,
very right. Why
yeah,
can't these guys just turn up and say, right, I'm here, I've
hmm
paid my money, come rain, snow, or shine, I
yeah,
will support this team and really
yeah,
make some noise. You'll
yeah.
start to see a difference.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, coach, thanks a lot. I'll drop in the listeners. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
more thanks to you for finding the time to join us today. Hopefully you find time to be with us next time. And Jerry, I know you're still there. You want to add anything before we move on? I think I want us to look at Raheem Sterling's numbers. I think something else I want us to talk specifically, but go ahead. Let's hear you, Jerry, if you have anything to add to from
Yes.
what you've heard.
First of all, I'm so happy with the analysis of both Rodrigo and Bobby. To be very honest, it seems that I have written the script, I have prepared the entire script, and they have said everything that was in my mind. So beautiful analysis. I would say an absolutely world class analysis. And Bobby broke it down so beautifully. He pointed out all the facts, and he pointed out and he structured it in a way, giving a logical discussion. That's what we are saying. No one is blindly supporting a project. No one is blindly
And
supporting.
no one is saying he's perfect. No one is saying the project is perfect. It is
Absolutely.
what it is right now. You have to live with it. If you like, you can climb a pole and jump from there. It won't change anything.
Absolutely. And to the point of Rodrigo before he left, it's a great point. I was just thinking a couple of hours ago with my first coffee of the day that, the next two games, not the Brighton one, it's the Carabao Cup game, right? The next two Premier League games are away games, I believe, at Fulham and Burnley. And it's good for Chelsea, right? Because the environment is very toxic at Stamford Bridge. So it's unfortunately, right? I agree. And as I said before in the first phase of this conversation, that Chelsea fans don't deserve mediocrity and they should not expect mediocrity because the generation that lived through the last 2 decades, they are used to winning, right? But again, we have to be realistic, right? We have to understand that this is a new model. So what I would expect, it doesn't look like this way, that Chelsea fans should be more encouraging, right? No one is saying to back the team and keep on losing, but in the initial phase, let's say 10, 12 Premier League games, let's say, maybe I'm a naive or a very loving guy, right? But if I was at Stamford Bridge and when we lost, I would have clapped, right? I would have made a song. You could turn this around. We know you could turn this around. It's a massive thing that could really aid these people and these youngsters and this generation. I myself is not so young, right? They're very fragile now these days. So they need this encouragement. As you said, there's a lot of things. The momentum is not there, the feelings, the insecurity, and the pressure. So as fans, we can only help them, but we are not helping them. As Bobby said, all over the social media, the fans, the content creator of Chelsea, and I was looking at many things and I was really laughing, and I was like, I mean, the season is finished, right? The headings were of the videos, the season is over. And they're making post in the next 8 games how many points we'll get, like maybe 3, 4. So I was like, this is too much negative, right? As I said, Bobby and Rodrigo agreed. Let's see what Roger has to say. The performance overall was not bad. It was good in a way, right? And we are not scoring goals. So this could be turned around sooner than later. And again, as both of the gentlemen said very beautifully, with the facts that Pochettino has a history of like developing players and turning this around. And I know Roger said yesterday it is a brand new squad,
which was probably why the reason he was hired in the first place.
Definitely, I believe that he will turn this around. It might take some time, but at the end of the day, the chances are that we'll succeed. Thank you, Coach.
No, more thank you. More thanks to you for finding the time to join us on the panel. Roger, gracias, hola, aloha. What's the Taiwan? I don't want to leave anything up for him to say. But Roger, more importantly, big up to you for finding the time to join us on the panel today. Lose a game and you don't want to be on Twitter. Or you don't want to watch some of the content creators, hear them say whatever they want to say. I don't know whether name calling makes you come across as somebody who has a good understanding of how football works. Roger, your observation from that game yesterday, and do you sense that low confidence is creeping in gradually? Because that's my biggest worry. Because the moment that comes in, it doesn't matter, especially if the issue is with your attacking players. It doesn't matter how how clean cut of a chance it is, they will still fluff it if they're not confident. I'm sensing that a bit. It's not too bad yet. Chances are our defenders could help us, our midfielders could help us score goals and change that. I think it's still the issue is still with the attacking players right now. But you have the floor, Roger. Your overall observation from the game, and plus, do you think low confidence is creeping in gradually?
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello
Seriously,
to you.
great analysis. Bobby, always a pleasure. What can I say?
Shocking.
What can I
Bishop
say?
Bobby. Yeah,
And
what can you say?
obviously a pleasure for you, Coach. Obviously, no, I'm just kidding. Listen, I thought the analysis from all four people, including yourself, Coach, all joking aside, spot on. I really couldn't argue with any.
We're not actually, just to be clear, we're not saying things are perfect, and we're not saying the manager has been perfect.
No, but
Go ahead.
I'm saying the analysis has been rather spot on. I can't seem to, shall we say, find any fault in everyone's analysis. I do believe, though, that probably Rodrigo has had a few speeding tickets, and thus the insurance is too high for that bus.
Can you believe he's no longer work for the
Yeah, that's a fake ID right there. That's not Rodrigo. That's deep fake.
Oh, but go ahead.
But on a serious note, that was funny though. On a serious note, I think the confidence is low, and there's one stat that exemplifies that, and it's the amount of offsides that we saw. 6, 7, 8, however many it was a plethora. And that's because the players are low in confidence. So they want to get an early start. They want to get that edge, so to speak. You know, when a player is confident, they don't leave early. You know, they're confident in their ability. And I think that's a result. It's symptomatic in how many offsides we're seeing. Yes, they played a great high line. They played the offside trap. I'm not disputing that. But time and time again, to me, this is the thing, other than obviously the obvious attributes to the game that didn't go our way, was the fact how many times we were caught offside. It stuck out.
That's
like a
concerning.
sore thumb. Yeah, it is, because this is symptomatic of players or a team, however you want to term it, that don't have faith in themselves or low confidence or whatever. Listen, I totally agree with all this analysis about us having a true left back, us playing a certain Enzo in a certain higher cam position. That's all irrelevant to the point. It's relevant, but just hear me out. It's irrelevant to the point that we are making defensive errors. Like Sanchez should have saved that, in my opinion, from a goalkeeper. That should not be at that acute angle. That should not be going between your legs, to be honest with you. Now, I understand he's a very tall chap, and that's
coming from the chairman of the goalkeepers.
Yeah, that to me was inexcusable from such an acute angle. So listen. He made a few good saves. His distribution was quite good for the most part. We can talk about the red card all night long if you want, but it's the fact that we have shown a consistency, not just over the last 3 games, but over the last 2 to 3 seasons, where we are, for all intents and purposes, inept at being clinical. And listen, I'm not being derogatory. I'm being honest here in my assessment. Let's put it that way. And I say this not in a derogatory sense. That if you look up inept, it's the inability to succeed. And I think we personify that by definition, do we not? Listen, have I not praised Sterling this year for the 2 to 3 games he's played outstandingly well? Yes, but conversely speaking, when he hasn't been on his A game this season, he's been at the other end of the spectrum where he's been woeful. And I'm being kind there. This is a children's show. This is PG. And Otherwise, expletives will be flying because I'm sorry. Listen, he does bring a lot of positive attributes, but yet again, he showed his missed opportunities, his poor dribbling, 2 out of 6, coach. And we're not talking about, okay, they are a good team, but they're not an elite team. You know, it's you look at the amount of missed chances, that actually the poor crosses, yet again. It's frustrating, but if you take away the frustration and you take away the minutiae, these small details that we're critiquing either players for or the application, however you want to term it, it all boils down to us being ineffectual to score when presented the
Would you say
opportunity.
part of the issue overall is the fact that we have an entirely new squad?
No.
Okay.
Why do I say that? Yes, it does actually. But over the longer picture, when you extrapolate that over 2 to 3 seasons, we still were, for all intents and purposes, we had the same problems with regards to being clinical. Did we not? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Yeah, exactly.
Wash, rinse, dry, repeat.
Yeah, exactly. And spin drive, right? It's that obvious, gentlemen. I just want to say, and this is why I say, yeah, is it because it's a new squad? Yes, it is. I totally agree. But I'm not being sarcastic or facetious. I'm just saying, but this has been the case for the last 4 managers. The latter time for Tuchel, for his successor, for Lampard, and now Pochettino. This is not a coincidence. Yes, I'm not going to include I forgot the gentleman's name. We just mentioned him, the chap that was for 1 game that succeeded Potter. You can't include him. That's an anomaly. Just 1 game. You can't blame anything on him. But I'm just saying, you're looking at that. I'm sorry, sir.
Bruno Salto.
Bruno. That's his name. Thank you, sir. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So you have to look at this over a large body of work. And that's been our issue. Listen, yes, we have some defensive frailties, but yes, is it relevant to say, and is it fair to say that we have been decimated by injuries? Yes, we have. No doubt about it. That's true. And is it part of the game? Injuries are, but not to be decimated. However, in capitals, exclamation, bang, bang, bang. It's that simple. It's our inability to even test the keeper at times. That's where I think we're lacking. And unless things change, I think we're going to have to spend a lot of De Niro on a proven number 9. Because let's put it this way. I'm going to surmise right now, Coach. I'm going to tell you that if this continues at this rate, and I don't see any reason why it would not change, even though we're going to have certain players back, I agree. It's the fact that you can't continue this and be expected to be gainfully employed with this organization. Just ask Potter.
Oh, yeah. Does he? I think
I'm not being an alarmist. I'm just
no. I know. Before I come to you, Steve, I want to ask you, Roger, this question. Steve, I'll come to you in a minute or two. Roger, this comment on the screen, Constantine Dante saying that letting me know that Poch, that his Pep will make a difference, a big difference. What you on about? Come on, that's him saying, because I said before that even Pep will struggle with this team, and I ended by saying that Pep will not actually accept this job up because Pep isn't into he isn't into projects.
So he moved to Man City, where they had won 2 years prior the Premier League, correct?
Same thing with Bayern.
Yeah, exactly. So, he didn't inherit this inept team going forward. He didn't. So, yeah.
And I can assure you he will not.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, hypothetically, we'll never know, but hypothetically, when he was hired by City, he had a bloody good... Yes, he had some defensive woes. They had to build the back line because they were leaking goals. Other than that, I'm sorry, he had an amazing team. And a proven winning team, by the way. Did he take it to a next level? Of course he did. There's no denying that, Constantine. But no, I don't think he would be that much more successful because, as I've said from day one, once these football players step over that white line, the coach is not responsible for execution. has nothing to do with time and time again players not testing the keeper or just fluffing their lines, however you want to term it. It's
And
about execution.
execution is the language you use. Maybe you forgot.
Yeah, I did. I said execution. It's that simple, coach. It's that's why you can't put too much blame on the coaching staff / manager.
Yeah. Steve, let's come to you. Two things we want to hear you talk about. Whether you sense it that low confidence is creeping in gradually. For me, I'd say yes. It's not at a dangerous level yet, but it's getting there. If it's not, things don't turn around, it could get worse. Then it will be robbing off every player we have on the pitch, the midfielders, the defenders. Then we're in serious trouble. So do you think that's happening? And we want to hear your overall observation from the game and what you think. Let's hear you. And big up to you, by the way. Thank you for finding the time to join us.
No problem. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. For those in different time zone, good day, good morning. Well, guys, I don't even know what to say. I'm guessing everyone on here feels similar to how I feel in terms of being downcast. I definitely feel like there is there's a lack of confidence, like you said, coach. And
is it at a dangerous level right now? It's just creeping in. That's the language I use.
I feel like it's creeping in, but it's creeping in fast. I don't think it's at a dangerous level, but I don't know the speaker who was before me in terms of his name, but like I strongly agree with what he said in terms of there was a point he made, which I'm trying to remember now. I don't even remember, but there was a point he made exactly in terms of that, and it was like he literally took the words out of my mouth. But yeah, the stuff about the offside, the number of offside counts we had, that was actually very, very terrible, because I noticed that as well. And exactly what he said. I don't want to be repeating what someone else has said, but
No, you
exactly
can.
what he
We
said.
do tappings are allowed.
Okay.
So because you're onside.
Okay. Well, yeah, exactly what he said. Exactly what he said in terms of the increased number of offsides, evidencing probably a lack of confidence amongst the attackers because of the fact that everyone is so hasty, and they're not watching the line in terms of like staying onside and all of that. So that's just my opinion in terms of that aspect, in terms of the low confidence. And in terms of my general opinion, well, basically I have two things which I would like to briefly say.
Shoot for it.
The first thing is, honestly speaking, guys, I don't know what you guys' opinion and expectation is individually, but I feel like as Chelsea fans right now, we all need to temper down our expectations. I feel like this crop of players we have, they need at least 1 year to build chemistry. Trust me, I've never been the type to be very I never had this disposition, especially, for example, when Lampard got sacked first time in 2021. I still remember, I can't forget. Lampard said, the boys are not ready. I'm very sure some of you remember that quote. He said, this team is not ready. The fans need to give it 2 more years, 1 more year. What happened? Tuchel came and won the Champions League with the same squad within 5-6 months. So sometimes the whole chemistry and all that talk, all that jazz doesn't count. But right now, with this crop of players that we have, the age grade and everything, I feel like it's very, very relevant to us. And also with the fact that the difference between this time and the Tuchel time, Tuchel inherited a squad which had been playing together. Poch is inheriting new players that have never played together with the current, like with whatever batch we had left from last season. So in as much as trust me, I'm a huge Poch critic in terms of, I feel like he's very cowardly. He doesn't have balls. I feel like he's very cowardly. I feel like he doesn't also coach the players as well as he should. He can be an excellent, sorry about the background noise, by the way. He can be an excellent man manager, which we all know, but in terms of the coaching, I feel like he's not doing it as well. But regardless, I'm still not screaming Poch out, because realistically speaking, realistically speaking, I feel like there's no competent managers out there right now who would be, first of all, willing to take the Chelsea position, because it's one thing for a manager to be available. Someone like Zidane is available and one or two other people. But then will these managers, seeing how Chelsea has operated over the last 1-2 years, be willing to put their CV at stake to come and be a coach of Chelsea, knowing that there's little to no job security in Chelsea? And if we fire Poch, that's literally terrible press for us, bad press, because any prospective manager looking at it is going to be thinking from the perspective of, even if I accept this job, how long am I going to be here? Does it mean if I lose 5-6 games, I'm going to lose? I'm going to get a sack and just mess up my CV. So we're kind of like in a dilemma, and it's just what it is. And secondly, the second thing which I wanted to mention, which is the last thing, is, honestly speaking, there's this friend of mine. He's a Real Madrid fan. When Boli and all these guys took over last season, and with how last season was in terms of being a fiasco, my friend Alex, I remember him always mentioning, he was always like, Steve, Boli is actually destroying your club. I never believed in coach, and I never agreed up until my disposition started changing as at this weekend that just ended. Because if Poch came out, and I stand to be corrected, but if Poch came out and told Boli or told whoever, the recruiters, that I need some experience, because I saw some stuff saying Poch wanted people like Madison, one or two other people, and the team, the recruiters were like, nah, we're only doing under 23. So if Poch wanted that experience but didn't get it because of the recruiters and our so-called philosophy, then I can't be blaming Poch no more. I have to blame the owners. And so I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to really, really come to the conclusion that our owners, they feel like they're doing a lot of good. It's all well and good to spend money and all of that, but then they are indirectly also messing us up. And
here's why I'm not gonna blame the owners. Do I think they've made mistake in the past? Yeah, they have, but they have a structure in place, and I think I've taken my time to, I wouldn't say research the project, taking my time to look at what I feel they're trying to do, and I think it makes sense. Do I think we could have done things differently? Yeah, but how I feel and what I say now don't change anything. Will not change anything in any way. So all I have to do is support the club. I've always loved all my life, and becoming toxic doesn't help. I'm not saying you are, but I get your point, and you're entitled to your opinion. But I think we do well. And just remember, I told you that, Steve. And let's get back to it, Roger. You want us to look at any players' numbers, or you want to talk about anything else before we go? We go on. And Steve, just quickly, one thing we'll all agree is that it would take time. And I remember you saying that. It would take time. I know you have other concerns beyond that, which is you think the owners they still not doing anything right. I don't want to misquote you, but you think they are the source of our problems, which you are entitled to feel that way, but at least you're not into.
I feel like they are one of the sources, not the only source.
Okay, it's one of the sources of our problems.
Sources,
yeah. And you're entitled to your opinion, Roger. Do you have anything else to say, or do you want us to?
Under the previous administration, Poch would be gone by now. You do realize that, right?
Really?
You don't think after 6 games and having?
But do you? Yeah, but I agree with you. But do you know?
Would you think he would have pulled the trigger already, Abramovich? I think so.
By now, maybe, but I don't think Poch will have the same issues, because I don't think the situation will get to an extent where we make so many changes.
I'm not advocating for that at all by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, you're correct. Go ahead.
But the question is, how much time is he given? Because they pulled the trigger on my previous client.
But he had way
He's not returning any of my calls.
Even way more time than he should have. They should have given him. But go ahead.
Listen, things have to change. Otherwise, Poch is gone, even under this administration. You have Haaland that is scoring more goals than the entire Chelsea squad combined.
That's shameful.
We have less than 1 point a game now. This can't continue. Things have to change, and they probably will. Don't forget, to be in this position, you do have to have a modicum of bad luck. Let's be honest here. We've been a bit unfortunate. However, things have to change. I think, obviously that the return of certain players will help, but doesn't guarantee anything, coach. Doesn't guarantee a bloody thing. Just doesn't. I'm disappointed because I didn't think, because I based it on pre-season, and I look at a person like Jackson that looks so composed and so clinical. He looks like he's a completely different person, a shadow of himself.
The preseason got us all excited.
Yeah, it was very misleading, to put it mildly. And so when I think of this, can we turn things around? Yes. Will we? Probably not to the extent that needs to be turned around. Let's be honest here. We are at best barely a top 10 team. We're 14th right now, if I'm not mistaken. And so, unless we slip down,
14th.
Well,
and
no,
we're lucky. It's so many other teams didn't do well. Just like last season, where the other results helped us stay up.
Now you look at the bottom three; they all have 1 point. I don't think we're going down by any stretch of the imagination, but we are languishing in mediocrity. And I'm not being bombastic here. I'm being honest, and that's where we are, and it's deservedly so, because we have played better than the score suggests in each of our games. Realistically, to be okay, maybe slightly looking through tinted prisms, but we should be unbeaten when you look at it, when you think about it. It's just that it's been our ability to concede goals through errors and our inability to be clinical. It's that simple, regardless of the tactics, the formation, the decisions of who plays, who doesn't. That's irrelevant, because we've seen over a very long period of time that doesn't really come into the equation, because we consistently fail to score.
Yeah, thank you, Roger. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask 2 questions. Have you guys?
Yeah,
did
go
you
ahead.
guys?
Shoot for it.
Did you guys? I want to know you guys' impression or opinion rather about Poch's in-game management, because I'm of the opinion that he's quite poor at that. Especially yesterday, he took off Jackson, Mudryk, and I believe Enzo. And the moment that happened, Aston Villa, it's like he opened the gateway for Aston Villa to attack us. Yes, I understand we had gotten the red card. Maybe he was trying to be more defensive, blah, blah, blah. But that was a terrible decision to do. You're taking
hindsight's 2020, isn't it? And the fact that Jackson already had a yellow and he's 1 tackle away from being sent off to put us down to 9 men, I have no problem with that.
Okay, maybe the Jackson part, I understand that. But why are you taking off Enzo? Why are you taking
to
off
have to put physicality on, to put
and
faster, stronger people?
Was ineffective, actually, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's also, as I'm sure Bobby will agree, we wanted bigger people in there in the middle of the park. And
okay, all right. What about Mudryk, guys? It seems like you guys have an explanation.
Well, yeah, I actually don't have a problem with him taking off Mudryk. I know that's been criticised heavily,
but he was our best player in the first half.
I know, but you're down to 10 men.
Yeah, you have to adjust.
So what happens? What happens if
Roger, let's hear you. Let's hear you, Roger. Let's hear your argument.
What happens if he doesn't do that and we go out for attacking, knowing that we're not very clinical at all, and that's putting it politely, gentlemen. And guess what? We concede goals or singular goal based on the sucker punch.
Roger, I understand. Roger, I understand you totally.
Then he will be verbally castrated for doing that, for being naive.
I hear you out, but this boils down to what I said earlier in terms of my opinion, in terms of how I feel that Poch doesn't have enough balls to be a big manager in the big 6, top 4 club in England in this day and age. What she said is very pragmatic, is very understanding. I can understand that. But then
Jose would have shut down the shop, right?
Yeah, but not every, like, it's not everyone. It's not. I don't. It depends. It depends. It depends on the Jose Mourinho, because some Jose Mourinho who really wants the points might go all out attack, but Jose Mourinho who wants to just get 1 point is going to shut it down fully.
Oh, he's
But
going to park
I'm
the
thinking from the
buses.
perspective, he's going to pack everything. But I'm just thinking from the perspective of, what do we have to lose? We just lost our last game. While languishing at the point before it was obviously the game was over and we were certain that we're going to be in 14th position. As at yesterday, we were languishing in 12th position. What do you have to lose? Like, at least just go all out for it.
A point. That's what you have to lose, is a point. At the time,
let's talk about this,
0-0.
Roger. There's something JC said the other day, something to the effect of, we have a good enough squad that if we start going into games with the mindset that we have nothing to lose, that will make a whole lot of difference. And I agree. What do you think, Roger? Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. Don't forget, this is a very youthful squad. We're not talking about a lot of veterans sprinkled in all lines of the squad. This is so young. So, you don't want to have their confidence bashed in any further. If they can come away from 10 men and get a point, then you know what? Yeah, you take what you can get. Unfortunately, the keeper, who I thought was our best player on the day, let's be honest here, but unfortunately, he conceded a goal that he should not have. So if that goal isn't conceded, if he blocks that from a very acute angle, then we come away with 1 point. I know. If my aunt had testicles, she'd be my uncle. I get it. But it's the truth, though, gentlemen. It's that simple. Listen, I've always said this, and Coach quotes me often, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's that simple. It's hindsight. This is my opinion, which doesn't count for much more than a hill of beans, right? I thought his in-game management was quite good. That doesn't mean anything, no. I mean, obviously, you beg to differ, and I respect that. But now I have no problem because maybe I'm defense-minded, orientated. I have no problem being pragmatic when you're down to 10 men. Yeah,
I agree with you. Go ahead. If anybody wanted to say something, go ahead. I want to give those in the chat the microphone. Okay, anybody else? Okay, let me go ahead. Yeah.
What? What's a humming?
No, this is how he starts his comments. Just go away. He says, I'm trying to pronounce it like African Americans would. An African American would. Okay, I have it's difficult, really. I have no words. I am Poch out, by the way, and so you're taking. You've become the driver. You've taken over. You've taken the keys to Panic Boss from Rodrigo.
Yeah, check the brakes, mate. Check the brakes.
I am Poch out, by the way, and in about 3 games, you will see why I was right about Lampard. I was right about Potter. And I am right about Poch. No, I think about Poch, you've been lukewarm. You've been flip-flopping. You've not been, you can say, straightforward.
Coach, read the remainder. Read the remainder.
I know Lampard was a tapping. Relax, big up. Just go away.
That's
I don't
great.
like you.
That's funny.
Coach,
Thank you for making me smile.
Have you guys seen our run of games? Our next run of games.
Sexy,
that's when I'm confident.
And
I'm going to tell you why.
Coach, those
are the games I'm confident we're going to win. And why do I say that? That's because Charity FC is well and truly in existence.
Coach,
honestly.
you kill me with your optimism. You really do.
No, this is not about being optimistic.
Yeah, it is.
Coach, so you feel like we can lose to Nottingham Forest, but we're going to beat Arsenal?
We can.
You know what, though? He's proven us wrong before. He really does. Because we can't beat the low block, but when we play teams
we play better.
Like Liverpool.
We play better when we play big teams. I get it. I totally agree, but like with the way we're so down bad, I don't know if we're going to be able to do 100%. That right now.
And in those games, here is the thing. The only thing I usually pray during those games when we play against the big boys is that just put away our chances. put away chances. And we all know the reason we struggle against low block teams is that we don't have that. You can say that sort of playmaker that's capable of pulling the rabbit out of the hat to help us win a game. That even if you have 10 players sitting there, they will find a solution. We don't have. That was why I was praying that we signed Turkey. Honestly,
Coach, even though Palmer doesn't necessarily solve that, but Palmer is a very good. I'm sure you guys saw the pass Palmer gave to Chilwell when he came on. I still don't understand the obsession with playing Gallagher. I don't understand
now
it.
here's the thing. I don't
Because
care
if
who
you
he comes
easily
in
move,
for.
if
I
you
don't
move
care who
Enzo
Palmer
back,
comes in for.
if you
I
move
don't care
Enzo
who
back to
Palmer comes in
Gallagher's,
for.
you move
Honestly,
Enzo
I
back to
think
Gallagher's
Palmer in the
position.
10 role will be more effective than Enzo Fernandez.
Coach,
Yes.
that is exactly what I'm saying. Like, you move Enzo back to Gallagher's position, perfect, and then you put Palmer in Enzo's position. Like, there's so many things which we as fans can call, which it baffles me that managers can. For the longest, coach, I think we raised it in the last time I was on the link in terms of the obsession with constantly playing Chilwell as a left winger. Finally, Poch stopped it last game. Like, these things are so easy to see. Why are you playing Enzo as a number 10? It's not worked last week. It didn't work 2 weeks before. It's not going to work next week. Like, it's common sense.
Do you know what his logic is? I'm assuming it's because you have to give it a certain amount of games. You can't just give it one game. You have to give it. And that's
like
what I'm
3-4
assuming.
games.
I don't agree with it, but I'm assuming that's his logic.
Roger, just give me 1 minute. I want to come back I'll come back. Let's talk about Palmer, why he isn't starting. In under a few minutes he was on the pitch, you could see how, again, his intelligence. This he did something that Enzo, we know quite well Enzo is capable of doing when he starts in a deeper position.
He was
Enzo
making
has the
great
vision.
diagonal passes.
Seeing whoever is free.
He was pinging it everywhere. Listen,
exactly.
He's going to be.
Begs the question: why didn't he start? And during and the YouTube short predicted lineup that I did, I argued that
Can I tap in for a second?
I'd rather Gallagher play in Enzo play in a different position to accommodate Palmer, who is a more creative player, better than all the players we think are creative. Actually, the guy has the intelligence. Forget his age. And if this is really a project, you have to start playing these kids. How are they going to get the experience? It's not like we have all the better options available. We must make do with what we have, which is to give them time. Palmer has the intelligence. Honestly, to me, I'd rather have him on the pitch than Raheem Sterling.
Yes,
but we all knew before time Raheem Sterling was going to start.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was literally going to say Sterling. Oh,
just on the fact that Palmer is better in the air, substantially. It's not even in front. Just that factor alone would suggest he should start over Sterling.
Roger, however, he offers so much more. Like, better in the air, he can be a playmaker. If it's to dribble, he will dribble. Is it like Sterling is just so one-dimensional? I'm tired of it.
Yes, you and me are on the same page. Trust me, I am not his biggest advocate. Palmer, when he plays on the left, is a wonderful cross of the ball historically for City. When he plays on the right, he knows how to cross with the whipping, left to right crosses. He's excellent, and also his shot making is excellent from the right side. When he plays centrally, he distributes the ball very well. His first touch is excellent. He has all the positive attributes that you look for in a young technical player. So I totally agree. But having said that, we can talk about playing Enzo as the cam is not the right thing to do, playing this player out of position, etc., etc. What happens if the next 3 games, Poch does exactly what all you chaps are asking? But guess what? We still miss chances, because this was my whole point initially when I spoke today. It's irrelevant, but it is relevant. But if you get my gist, it's really irrelevant based on the fact that we couldn't hit a side of a barn.
Yeah, we couldn't hit the butt of a car with a handful of
but your analysis is correct, all of you chaps. I'm serious. But you see my point also. It's irrelevant based on the fact if we were scoring more, then then you could say, you know what, we would actually score even greater amount of goals. But we can't even hit the target half the time, let alone be clinical. So,
and the beautiful game here says Roger is always getting caught off his line. Where's Beckham or Rooney when you need them?
Very funny.
Constantine Dante, I'm going to be scrolling past quite a lot. The conversation of you can say has been flowing just between the panelists and not much. But apologies to those in the chat. I'll try to get as much as I can. Sanchez was the best player. What are you talking about? But that doesn't mean he shouldn't be conceding from that angle. If we're being honest,
he was the best player, I think. But that was inexcusable to concede from that acute angle. Just being honest.
Yep. The angle he should be covering. All then again, but again, overall, I think he's improving by the game. Again, Rodrigo has joined in the chat. I no longer drive the bus. Funny, I actually do have a speeding ticket. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Sorry to hear that. It happens every now and then. Sometimes when I moved to where I am right now, they had to dug up that. I had about a lot of speeding tickets in New Jersey, and that amounts to me. I have to take a driver's test again.
Wow.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. The issues I had in New Jersey, in Las Vegas, they say, you had about how many points in total? I can't remember, but each ticket you are you get signed.
I've driven in New Jersey, Coach. It's a horror show there. The turnpike.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Turnpike, New Jersey Turnpike. Yep. It's the players. It's a player's fault. Well, though, who bought most of? He said it's the player's fault. Okay, he's asking, who bought most of them? It's the manager's fault. Well, who carried out the excessive process? It's the injuries. Who hired the entire medical staff? You know who. But thank you for that, Haku. I'm gonna skip quite a few here. As you can see, I'm in a hurry to round off. We don't have too much time. We have about, I think, 17 minutes to round up. So we want to look at some of the players, some of their numbers there. Roger, are you being realistic? Always is. You should know he's always realistic. But let's see what else we have here. Get Villa boys back. No, please don't do that. Owners have blood on their hands. Yep, there you go. Minerals FC representative is in the house. God of Frogs, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Let's see what else. Hans says a sacking coach after coach won't fix this problem. I think I agree with you. The club establishment needs a new project. Get rid of the talent, a scouting department, sack the sporting directors. Sport directors, sack the medics and trainers. That is no different from you saying sacking the manager will not solve the problem. If you do all those things, we'll have an entirely new team. What did he say again? Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. None of those things will help solve the issue. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Sorry, apologies to the OGs here and all of you. The Bluetooth game, Constantine Dante. Tangorido, I just cannot get everybody's comment, but I will try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Just me again. Wow, that's quite a lot. And I see JC is also in the house. JC, always nice to see you. Yes, Roger, you are advocate for everyone except Sterling. I think I agree with that accusation.
Hey, I praised him when he was warranted, but it's just painful to watch.
Yes, then let's just say Sterling isn't Rogers' favorite player.
I was the biggest Sterling fan after the Luton game. You guys. Let me just report myself. Since we're on the Chelsea chat, I was so close to staking about £100, which is almost like $150 with a friend of mine. That's before December. Stello was gonna get at least 10 goals. Because I don't know why. I don't know what came into my head, why I was so confident after the Luton game, but I was so close. I was like, yes, you guys, Sterling is back. The Man City Sterling is back. And then this guy just goes to just kill my vibe with the next 4-5 games. Like, I'm done.
Again, you didn't get to speak to Roger because he would have told you to calm down. Don't be in a rush. It's never.
Give it time.
Yeah, Roger would. I've told you that too early. Calm down. And yeah, I knew. Again, I've always questioned. The fact that he's never been consistent for us. You see him flashes of what he's capable of doing, and I think for him to perform consistently, I think would have to be at Man City's level, where everything is simplified, where he gets a chance to score. In most cases, it will be just a tap-in. Big up to you too, JC. CFC football team needs a tap-in merchant. They do, yeah, because lots of crosses. One delicious one from Mudryk, and I was shocked to see nobody made a run into the box. And I don't know. And listen, if you pay attention to Man City,
same with Palmer.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever the ball comes on the carpet and is in front of the goal, you will have a few players central in the central area of the box, and then you have one player at the other end. That which I know, I think it takes practice. Which you could say, the manager probably drilled that into the players. There will always be somebody at the other end waiting in case everybody in the central area miss the ball. Then they get a chance to put it in the back of the net. But you can say by now we should have at least 6 more goals from crosses on the carpet, but we have not been able to do that. Starting is Chelsea as Roger is to this program. Wow. Smash the like button, people, and nice to see you once again. We have 42 likes. Yeah, it's a slow period, and the vibe. Nice to see you, Coach. You punch out. You know fully well you shouldn't be asking that question because you're not gonna get a straightforward answer from me. But right now, specifically, no, I'm not. I think I didn't come into this season expecting us to be at the same level. Even Newcastle, actually. Even what's Aston Villa? They're playing more as a unit than we are. Maybe we have talent, better players, but we still have a long way to go to start playing as a unit, and that's very important. And no way, again, you're having a conversation there. Let's see. The sporting directors believe in this project more than any of us. Oh, you should know that. I did see the interview. The coach or the owners, they also picked their perfect coach for the job. If we failed, heads need to roll. You better believe that these owners, they're billionaires. They didn't become billionaires by accident, and by being sentimental. If they feel like okay, we hired you and it's not working, you're out of the door without wasting time. And Poch's contract is not like he's not on a 1,000-year contract just like Potter is. It's a 2-year contract with with an option to extend. So I think they learned very quickly not to give managers long-term contract anymore. So if it isn't working, it's bye, Felicia. Well, the only striker we bought cannot head the ball. What do you expect? Yeah, let's see anything else to address here just quickly. And once more, apologies to all of you that I had to skip some of the comments you have in the chat there, but I'll try to get your subsequent contributions. There were just too many, and if I try to get them, then we'll be going back and forth of topics, and that will not help. Strange Roger has taken the phrase trust the process and structure out of his vocabulary now. Pochettino is the manager. Yep. Coach, it is not mood of tapping. You're not in the mood of tappings today. Coach is not in the mood of tappings today. He's playing tiki-taka. I don't know why you're joining us right now. Let's see. Directors should tell Poch, stop playing Sterling. I don't think so. It's up to Poch for him to figure out. He would do, again, the team would do better without, without Raheem Sterling. And I'm serious about that. Stop playing Sterling, Silva, and Silva. Play younger players and develop. Do what you were hired to do. I think I'll do the same, honestly. I'd give the young players a chance, but the manager at the same time, maybe he's trying. How do I phrase it? I think he's trying for it not to be as bad as it can get if he's relying only on the younger players. That's just me speculating. I'm not sure whether what I've just said is the way he reasons. Double standards, Roger moving like a Miami Latina.
Wow.
Low on payment. I'm not gonna read that again. That's not nice, Chimera, but I know Roger understands, and he's used to it. Even
That was cold.
even if all the injured players come back, we will still need an additional 9
Exactly.
and 10 more importantly, maybe 9, yeah, maybe. It depends on how again, we're not sure whether Amanda Broya returned the same, but we'll find out in a few days. Sterling to Arsenal, they're not going to take him. Be rest assured. We need to simplify the recruitment process. Get 2 top attackers, fire one of Winstanley or Stewart, and hire the director of football. I don't trust the sporting directors. And why are they sharing the role? I don't understand. I noticed a very good observation made somewhere. Our younger players are actually playing all right. Oh, yeah. The same issue on the ground, Potter. The younger players, whenever they come on, they do it better. It is the experienced players underperforming. Yep. The same thing. Wash, rinse, dry, and repeat. Roger, thank you for teaching me that. Chelsea needed to seek for forgiveness from Thomas Tuchel. For what? Okay, let me just get your contribution there. To get over this performance, Thomas was unjustly dismissed. That is just you saying that. As much as we don't know what really happened, I'm not going to get into that. And until the right thing is done, Chelsea poor performance continues. Wow. Don't you think Sterling Silva just stops the development of the young players? I think we should start giving the younger players an opportunity if this is truly a project. I think we can actually do without them
because the vets aren't performing either. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's the truth. Go ahead.
I guess there's 2 things I want to. One is a statement. One is a question. The only thing that was good about yesterday was the fact that J5 was J5 as we know him.
Oh yeah, thanks to him though.
Yes. Thank you, Jorginho. You made my day yesterday. It was a tough day. My Cowboys.
I will regret bringing him on.
Yeah, I was like, this is who he is. Get used to it, Arsenal. The other thing is, honestly, I have a serious question. Do you think Poch will be our coach next season, beginning of next season?
I think it will be.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's why I said I think he'll still be. Here's the thing. I'm not sure how well we'll do, but we will. You can say beat expectations. Once this team picks form and start playing as a unit, I think we'll do way better. We'll start doing way better than we're doing right now. And I think the owners probably they understand. They have you can say we have a structure in place. We have those that will tell them, look, we made too many changes, and that wasn't something planned. It was something we had to do because we had a lot of players at the time. Who you can say clearly, obviously, didn't look like they wanted to be here. So we had to sell them and start rebuilding the team. I think they're seeing progress, and right now I have to say maybe I'm different, but I'm seeing progress. Do I think Pochettino has been perfect? No, I think he's made some questionable decisions, but I've chosen to look beyond those decisions.
Coach, until we start scoring goals,
which is our biggest problem.
We're not making progress if we're not scoring goals. That's why I'm not saying he isn't going to be our coach next season / manager. I'm not saying that, but I can honestly see him not making it because of the fact that he is doing in a different way. He's getting to the same he's arriving at the same destination that Potter did, just via a different route, if you understand, or route, if you understand. However, the destination is still the same, and that is unemployment. Because we cannot continue. He will not succeed if we continue to fail to score goals. It's that simple.
If we continue to play sideways football, which we literally carried over from Thomas Tuchel to Potter to Lampard.
I was thinking about the question that Roger asked. Roger just asked in the chat. Sorry, in the panel.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Very
so
great,
I actually was thinking, having coffee, I was really disappointed after the game. So I was thinking about Poch, and I was worried that he will be sacked, right? So it's a very legitimate question. It's a great question. And the way I analyzed is my own analysis, right? If it again will come down to the Chelsea fans and the whole environment. Yes, in the next month or two, we might be like not so consistent. We will have some issues, but we have to see, right? So to make it short, what I'm saying, if Poch would somehow survive Christmas New Year period, right? He would be in the job. Then I see a really, really better, more consistent second half of the season, and then he will definitely, or let's say it will be high probability he'll be in the job, right? So
because Nkunku returns then after
not
Christmas.
just in Nkunku, but because Poch would be working with them naturally, like the rhythm will come, the performance will come. Of course, Nkunku will be here, Reece James will be here. So in the next 2-3 months is critical. We don't have to look at the end of the season. In my opinion, if he'll survive the storm by Christmas and will be like reasonable, maybe 7th, 8th at that position, right? And there won't be any negativity or backlash.
How do we achieve that based on?
Yeah, that's a great question mark. So that's why I'm worried, right? That's why I'm worried. Like, if the fans will have enough patience, right? So yeah. So in short, I think if he'll survive this period, I see him being the manager a long time. But it's a huge question mark if he can survive.
Yes,
I think he will. I think he will.
I think that can only be achieved if we start to score goals. Don't forget, 50% of our games this season, we have failed to score a goal, and that's not an anomaly, by the way.
Yeah,
that's exactly why
I think he will survive it. But he needs to change something because if he cannot begin he needs to change something around. He needs to make some bold decisions, bench some players.
He needs to change something because the next 7 to 10 games, I think, are pivotal for his career going forward at Chelsea. Otherwise, he will cease to be
needs to. If he doesn't change it, chances are, if he plays the same, you can say you cannot be doing the same thing. That something that can repeating something that's not
definition
yielding
of insanity
results and expect it to yield results. Sterling hasn't been consistent. Drop him. That's one example of bold decision to make. Drop Jackson. Give Bro a chance. Then
we don't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice for the next game.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. So that happens naturally right now. So
and by the way, I just want to quickly, if I may, Coach, I'm very disappointed with Jackson, not because of his lack of finishing, but the amount of bookings. Most of those have been not because of, shall we say, a collision or anything. It's to do with the mental side of the ball, like making the gesture for a yellow card or a card period. Being petulant to the referee, talking back, etc. Blocking. Listen, their keeper did a great thing. He basically kicked the ball deliberately at him. So that's his naivety. Get out the way. It's simple as that. It's his accrual of getting 5 cards in 6 matches are mental errors, and that's unacceptable. That really is. I don't mind people making physical mistakes, but when you're making mental, psychological, cerebral, however you want to term it, errors, that to me is inexcusable. And that should be blamed somewhat on the coaching staff because they need to instill discipline and direction to the player at hand.
Yeah, I think I agree.
And you can't be good. You cannot say that a player is good if he's not able to play because of missing games, because of the FA coming down, because of the rules. It's that simple.
Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? Availability is the best. I think Bluetooth again will remember what I wanted to say there. Take Silver out and start playing Liver Cowell at left back. I would rather do that. I would rather rotate them and play them in the central position and not play a centre back in the left back position. Forget his passing ability; he can still do that from the central area. Play a 4-3-3 with Guchuku Casado and Enzo in a flat midfield. Gallagher should be on the bench. Okay, let's see next season. Roger, do you think Poch will be manager after the next 7 games?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, his takes on Mason Mount and Kai might be wild, but I think he's been a fairly reasonable with his takes. Who is he referencing?
Yeah.
I want to know. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And Coach, do you know which person? Yeah, I'm gonna remix your comment there. Which person made Gallagher captain? Let's be real. If you were an elite, experienced player in that dressing room, would you be willing to take instructions from a roadrunner?
Beep, beep.
I'm not sure how to answer that. But right now, one thing I'm just gonna say, I think I wasn't the first person that said it. The bar is so low right now that yeah, you get my point. The issue,
Subterranean.
yeah, the issue wasn't making too many changes. The issue was taking too long to complete the changes, and we clearly aren't even done. In our particular situation, with the overhaul we did, this was crucial. Yeah, it was crucial. And what comes with it making that many changes is that you don't have a team that will be playing as a unit for a while. He speaks English, Gallagher. Go away. Firing up Potter before any of the directors makes a zero sense. So the owners, the owners don't necessarily run the projects, and they rely on football folks at the club. Yeah. And I think I'm surprised Roger hasn't made that particular argument today.
No,
He
it's always,
often says that.
yeah, it's always the case. Listen, with the exception of the first window, the last two windows have been solely on the sporting directors. They are the ones with direction. They are the ones, along with the scouting department and the coaching staff, obviously. These are the people that are pulling the trigger, the strings, not the owners.
Yeah, and that's Michi making fun of me. I went to his channel and I wanted to say the host is waffling, and I spelled it so he has a sport stuff since. But more importantly, go check out Michi Boy's YouTube channel.
Hola,
Subscribe
Michi.
and let him know I sent you. I think we should be rounding off right now. Once Badman Badeshila returns, Silva needs to help the team by, you can say, just mentoring them. I'm not reading that. This is the same people who singled out Sterling every day about how bad he is, and you guys are saying you see improvement in Poch. Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, well, I'm entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours. Survive until Christmas. Oh, wait, you are serious. Sorry, my bad. Let's see. I think he survives. Hope he finds something in cup games. I hope so. It will go a long way. A win will always be a win. We kept going about the same exciting existing problem, I'm guessing, at the club. Scoring goals. We bought a Jackson, Palmer, Nkunku, and Chukwuemeka to fix. In my opinion, that's not enough guaranteed quality. Wow. Will Jackson even score more goals than Havertz? I think he will. Availability is the best ability. Thank you. That was exactly what I was looking for. I appreciate that. We don't need to win now. That's not the project. We were never gonna win now. I want to see a progress and development. Coaching the coach is number one. Most important thing in young development players. Yep, you have to coach them. Let's see what else. I am disappointed with Jackson for descent as well.
Exactly.
But the refs in the EPL are frauds and useless. Okay. Let's see. Gallagher outperformed everyone in the midfield, and he continued to outperform the 100. Here's the thing. Defensively he does more, but I think Gallagher will be more effective for us on the flanks, and I'm gonna keep arguing that. Honestly, that's just my opinion, Coach. Just say no, I'm not saying that. Why I understand that so freaking high for Gallagher but low for Casado. No, I measure their performances with the same, you can say, criteria. Nothing different for anybody. Gallagher should be, I don't think he should be benched. I think his thing, given what we have now, he'll still be starting. Given the players we have available also. And Gallagher will be, and again, would do even better for us on the flanks. So with that, people, I'm just going to round up. There's too many to get now, unfortunately. Apologies to you all. Again, I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. I want to say thank you to God of Frogs, Constantine Dante. I appreciate you joining, and Eugene, thank you for joining. Let This Greatness Supreme Court. I appreciate you joining. Chimera, thank you to all of you. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time, and cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, sir.